Good afternoon. People across Cumbria are spending the day without power after heavy snowfall trapped residents both inside and out of their homes. In the worst affected areas of Windermere and Ambleside, drivers had to abandon their cars and many spent the night taking shelter in schools and church halls. Yellow weather warnings for snow and ice remain in place for much of the country over the next few hours. Emma Birchley reports.
The snow kept on coming, causing towns and roads to grind to a halt. Alex and her friends were forced to turn to a local shelter after venturing out left them stranded.
It started getting really heavy and we tried to turn around, and then we looked on the maps and all the roads got closed, and then we were stuck in standstill traffic. So we just tried to turn around, and then we kept getting stuck up hills and everything.
And there's nothing like a crisis to bring the best out in people.
I saw Alex and her friends on their own, and I was with a friend, so I went and spoke to them and we all got chatting, and I said I'd be their mum for the night and look after them. None of us have had any sleep because there's a lot of snorers in the room that we're in.
Not just snorers, but much-loved pets too, like Eric's whippets.
There's me, Elaine, my wife and a friend, sleeping on the floor with 3 whippets.
In places like Ambleside, churches and community centres have been transformed to provide a roof when needed most, as well as food and drink. As the weather warnings are extended, Cumbria has declared the severe weather a major incident. And every time the temperature drops, there are decisions that get harder to make. The dilemma faced here in Derby is replicated in so many communities, putting added pressure on those already struggling to make ends meet.
We get inundated with messages. People will say, all right, I put all my money into my gas and electric this week and we've got no nappies, or we've got no bread and milk.
Because it's cold?
It's cold, yeah. So you've got to heat your house or buy your food. It's one or the other.
It's not just local travel that's been hit. Stansted Airport has cancelled a number of flights due to the adverse conditions, with Glasgow Airport closing briefly on Saturday. Temperatures dropped to -12 overnight in the Scottish Highlands. And although conditions are expected to ease in the coming days, for now the impact is affecting so many aspects of people's lives. Emma Birchley, Sky News.
Well, our North of England correspondent Shingi Mararika has the latest now from Troutbeck Bridge, a village close to Ambleside in Cumbria.
It looks picturesque, but it's also incredibly treacherous. The snow yesterday has caused chaos, and we saw a picture of the chaos on the way into the village here. We saw dozens of abandoned cars. We saw people trying to shovel their way out of spots, tight spots that they've obviously left their cars in overnight. We also saw a number of people just trying to help them as well. There's a real sort of effort to try and assist the people who struggled with that flurry of snow we saw yesterday. Some parts of Cumbria were said to have seen up to 15 centimetres of snow. Just behind me is that road we're talking about, and you can see it's still chocker. It's still got cars on it, and they're just crawling along slowly. There may have been an accident or an issue further ahead on the A road, and there has been an emergency effort which has seen some of the larger roads treated, whether it's through them being shoveled or gritted, but it's the A roads off the beaten track in places like this where you're seeing the impact of that weather. Also where we are is worth talking about because there are hills up the side of the village, and that means that people up there have been stuck because they haven't managed to get down. It's a real community effort to help people who have been stuck, whether they're tourists or others, and we've spoken to a couple of locals who have done their bit to help. Let's just have a listen to them.
I counted over 140-something cars still abandoned on the side of the road, plus there was all gaps where people have already been and collected the vehicles. So it was obviously turmoil yesterday.
I was knocking on windows because the pub opened up to do teas and coffees and said, you know, if anyone wants to warm up. I was really shocked talking to people knocking on the car windows because some of them had said they'd been there for 5 hours.
as we've mentioned, this kind of weather comes with really serious infrastructure issues. This morning, people in the area, more than 2,500, we understand, woke up to no power. They'll be hoping for power to be returned to their homes. We also know that there have been issues because a number of cars are blocking the roads. Those cars have been abandoned and left. We're now in a yellow weather warning over parts of Cumbria, but it's still the ice, the thick ice, the frozen snow, that comes with issues as well, which people will be dealing with over the course of today.